Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Gids. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am back for another fragrance video. If you've randomly stumbled across my channel, welcome. I make videos about fragrances amongst other things. And today I am going to be doing another first impressions. We have a fragrance from the house of Dior and it's called Miss Dior. Rose and Roses. So I'm gonna spray it on my skin and give you my honest first impressions of this fragrance. As far as I know, this is a 2020 release and it's a flanker to the Miss Dior line of fragrances. So with the name Rose and Roses, I am expecting it to have a lot of rose. So let's give it a spray on skin and let's see what we think of this. I always find these squirt really strange, which is why I always do this to kind of like dry it up a little bit. So this is more of a modern interpretation of a rose fragrance. That's the first vibe and kind of feel I'm getting from the fragrance. It is more of a fresher, kind of soapy rose. It's interesting as well because I am picking a lot of different floral notes in this fragrance. I think obviously one has to really be into florals to really like this line because it is all about florals. But it is a very tame rose. It isn't a... because sometimes when people think of rose as a note in fragrances, it can put a lot of people off because they think, oh, it's going to smell dated or it's going to smell like my grandma. But this is clearly a rose fragrance with a bit of a twist. So it is a bit more modern. The rose is a bit sparkly, a bit bright, a bit fresh. It's almost like it's been updated for not just a younger audience, but someone who wants something a bit more modern. It's pleasant. There is a bit of juiciness to this fragrance as well. So there are some kind of juicy notes which complement the florals really, really nicely. It's very soapy. It's a very soapy rose. Very, very soapy, which is something that's slightly putting me off a bit. I think this would be a very work appropriate kind of fragrance and also something which would be very versatile all year round. So you could definitely wear this fragrance to work, meeting friends, or just sort of hanging around the house. This is a very versatile fragrance which gives you many options. It is quite bright and fresh as well, so it is clearly more of a modern take on a rose fragrance for someone clearly who appreciates maybe younger, not younger, more modern rose fragrances. It's cleaner, it's fresher, it's pleasant. It's not blowing me away. It's not a bad release actually, it's not a bad release at all. Like I said, I think this is very versatile and I think that's one of the best things about this fragrance. I think it's not too overpowering when it comes to the rose because like I said, that's what puts a lot of people off when they are smelling these very powerful rose fragrances which are very potent for a lot of people. They think, oh, I don't want to smell like my grandma or I don't want to smell like a bouquet of flowers, you know. It's very pleasant, it's incredibly pleasant. It's reminding me a touch of what's that Jo Malone fragrance? It's English Pear and Freesia. It's something about, I think because that's a fruity floral, this is slightly reminding me of that. So if you can imagine English Pear and Freesia, if you've sampled that fragrance, there's a slight similarity with this fragrance. It's nice, it's nice. Like I said, it's quite versatile, it's modern, it's fresh. It's great for something you could wear to work or to meet friends. It's an all year round fragrance. So in terms of seasons, I think this would work really well, maybe spring and summer, but it could definitely work all year round because it's incredibly versatile and it has that quality. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I thought it was gonna be awful just because Dior of late have not been putting out great fragrances. I'm going to be honest. They've put out a few disappointing releases, and didn't really have high expectations. But this is nice. If I smell it on someone, on a female or whoever, I think, oh, that's a nice fragrance. That's very pleasant. If I smell it on someone at work, I would think that's lovely. This isn't going to offend anyone. It's not going to give you a headache or give anyone around you a headache. This is a nice way to get your fix if you like the idea of having something floral and a little bit fruity, a tiny bit fruity, like a rose fragrance predominantly, but with a modern twist. I think this is a fragrance that will give you that. Yeah, I would rate this out of 10. I'd rate this a 7 out of 10. The rose in this isn't blowing me away. Like I said, I'm a big fan of rose in fragrances. I know it's all about how it's blended, but I love rose. I think there's something really charming about rose as a note in a fragrance, especially when it's blended really nicely. But I like to smell rose in fragrances personally. I love rose, and I feel like this is a bit of a more, it's a bit more of a tame, shy kind of quiet rose. And I understand this is trying to have a bit of more of a mass appeal, but yeah, like I said, it's not blowing me away. It's not blowing me away, but it's a pretty fragrance. It's pretty modern, clean and fresh. That's the best way for me to describe it. Yeah, 7 out of 10. So yeah, that was my little review and my first impressions of Dior Rose and Roses. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did make it to the end, give me a thumbs up, of course, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back to do more fragrance videos very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.